Good morning, Niagara. You're tuned into Car Connection, where the coffee's hot, the tools are ready, and the talk is always tuned up. I'm your host, Niall Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you straight from the Car Connection workshop, where we mix a little humor, a little know-how, and a whole lot of horsepower. Here, it's not just about fixing cars, it's about keeping you rolling, saving you money, and giving you the confidence to understand what's under that hood. From the classics to the commuters to the weird noises to the what the heck moments, we've got you covered. So grab your cup of Joe, double check your order if you're zipping through that takeout window, lock it down in your cup holder, sit back, don't get too comfortable, keep an eye on the other guy, keep an eye on road conditions, and join the crew this morning because this is Car Connection, your Monday through Saturday morning pit stop for stories, smarts, and a few good laughs. We don't apologize for that either. So I'm Niall Motormouth Jenkins, and we are ready to shift it into high gear this morning. Well, maybe not too high. I think what we'll start off with this morning quickly is let's have a morning swiggy together so we can get ready to face the day. Thank you for inviting me into your car if that's where you're listening, wherever you're listening from. We are on all podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music. So wherever you pull your podcast from, just type in Car Connection Workshop. We're there. So appreciate you being along with us. Today is episode 61 in series 1. And we're going to be talking about I'm following up with yesterday's conversation, transmission care myths and how to avoid a $5,000 bill. Well, I did a little bit of homework since we got together the last morning. So thank you for coming along for the Motormouth Morning Drive. Transmission care myths. You ready for it? Grip that steering wheel because this is a white knuckle moment. Transmission, I lost my train of thought there for a minute. Transmission care myths and how to avoid a $7,000 bill on your vehicle's transmission. Yeah, take a deep breath on that one. I think with that, we better have a little swiggy this morning. That's how we do it. Hand the crayons over to your co-pilot with your laptop-shaped leaf bag. Take some notes. And if you miss something, you can go to our iHeart platform, and all our podcasts are archived there. If you head to our website, which everything we talk about here and on our YouTube channel, everything we talk about lives on our website. It's the biggest drawer we could have created in our toolbox. 31 years on radio. Now we're on podcasts, doing things just a little bit differently, but want you to be able to connect. I am a fully licensed and up-to-date automotive service technician. 4 decades of experience and things that I've learned even in the last week, sharing all the basic fundamentals of owning and operating an automobile. You don't need to be a brain surgeon when it comes to cars. You just need to understand them a little bit more. That will save you a ton of money. So as your co-pilot is taking notes this morning, if you missed something, head to our carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com website, and I always put all this information in the description of our YouTube videos as well as our podcast. So if you miss it, you haven't missed it. You're just a click away. So when you get to the homepage of our website, the short form is ccbusnet.com. All our program partners' logos for their businesses are on our homepage. They've been that way for many years. Click and open and connect. They're there to help you and to answer questions, and you will experience amazing customer service you may not get anywhere else. Top right-hand corner of our homepage is where you'll find all the platforms that you can follow, connect, share, the whole 9 yards. So our YouTube channels, links there, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Stevensvilleontheweb.ca, because I live close to there. My pops has lived there 30 some odd plus years, and I love the businesses in Stevensville. They're family owned and operated, for the most part, and they are very passionate about what they provide as products, goods, and services. So they made us a profile page on their website, and so I support them. So when you go to stevensvilleontheweb.ca looking for us, click on the business tab, and then our profile pops up. You can email me through there. There's a website form right on our homepage. We also have our iHeart icon there as well, and our merch store. We just added 6 more products, and our very first official Car Connection coffee mug is available on our merch store, and proceeds from sales on our merch store, so that you can be a Motormouth groupie, get some merch, and show it off. Exactly. You're supporting those who are struggling with addictions to get to any one of the campuses. Total Freedom Darien Center, New York. That's for the men and women. And Total Sydney, Manitoba, Canada is a men only campus, and the facilitators there are Rick and Robin, and they are very familiar with addiction. So lots of things going on. That's the whole vision for our YouTube channel, all the platforms. There's reels, there's bloopers, there's outtakes, all kinds of things that you can connect with us. So thank you for bringing us along this morning. Here's how we do our morning beverage, our morning swiggy together. Whatever your flavor is, it's okay with us. That's right. We can disagree on morning beverages and still be bestest friends. We count it down, 3, 2, 1. Count it down, 3, 2, 1, and have a swiggy. You ready? 3, 2, 1. That has a little more zip this morning than yesterday. Very good. Awesomeness. Well, we've got some bit of a weather warning out there this morning for all of us that are in southern Ontario. I'll bring you up to speed right now. First of all, slow down. Keep an eye on the other guy that's got all season tires on, because you know what? They don't dig through the snow, they glide. I think, yeah. With all season tires, you're switching to glide when you get on snow, ice, and we're going to have some sleet sometime today as well. So, folks, slow down. Let the road crews do what they've got to do. Back off, babies. Give them some space. They're not there purposely making you late for an appointment or a meeting or getting to work on time. It's better to get there safe this morning than to be sorry, because I'll tell you what, that moment you have that crash, your schedule, the kids, everything, meals, getting everything all ready, everything goes to hell in a handbasket. So don't put yourself in that position. Slow down. You got winter tires on, you've got a steady vehicle that can maintain, but it does not mean you're glued to the road surface. Any kind of all-wheel drive, real-time four-wheel drive doesn't mean that you're infallible on the roads this morning, because they're pretty gruesome right now, and our studio's right along the south shores of Lake Erie, and it is blowing in a nasty. Here's what you can expect today. So again, slow down. Don't try and keep up with the goon squad out there. You know who they are, the ones that, think that the 100K an hour is a suggestion. They're usually around 135, 140. Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little later on in another program, what that looks like. That also produces another hell in a handbasket day when you get caught doing 35, 40 over, and today is your day, and you get pulled over. Yeah, that just cost you money out of your profitability for the year. Yeah, we got to think about these things. What can we do, and what can I teach you as a 4-decade automotive service tech, tips and tricks that, you know what, put money back in your wallet? And I know a lot of them. And I'll tell you what, if you listen to me right at this moment, the very least I could put $100 a month back in your wallet. Are you interested? So if you're interested in saving money on car repairs and reducing the opportunity for humongous repair bills, then you're on the right channel, because I got hundreds and hundreds of tips that each and every one, when practiced, will put money back in your wallet. So how many of you going to get a $1,200 raise this year? Not too many, I don't think. Don't think your boss is going to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, you're a team player. Because you are, I'm going to give you extra $100 this month. So here's what you're dealing with on the roadways in southern Ontario this morning. Significant snowfall continues. Snowfall amounts of 20 to 30 centimeters, reduced visibility at times in heavy snow and local blowing snow. Continuing through this morning, tapering off late this afternoon, from what I could see and looked at, somewhere around 6 p.m. is what we can expect. Additional information is a low pressure system will continue to bring significant snowfall to much of southern Ontario. Very cold wind chills by this morning will add to the adverse weather conditions. So there may be a significant impact on rush hour traffic. So monitor the alerts. Use your phone, not while you're driving today. Keep your eyes on the road, my friends. Don't. If somebody's calling, somebody calls me while I'm driving, I can answer it. But you know what? I don't. Because it only takes a second taking your eyes off the road. Bam, you clip somebody, and now it's a nasty day. Everything starts spinning out of control. Just don't do it. You know what? I'll call them when I have a moment to do so safely. I do absolutely no texting. My phone is not even in my hand while I'm driving. It's not even within hand's reach. You know why? I don't want to be tempted to take my eyes off the road. Because as I said already, if you don't slow down and adjust your driving habits to road conditions today, there is a very good chance somebody with all-season tires on that thinks they're, infallible is going to spin out or clip you, and everything changes. Everything starts spinning out of control. It's not worth it. It absolutely is not worth it, friends. Because here's the deal. Buddy's got all seasons on that you might as well be wearing patent Italian leather shoes this morning to go out in the snow. You probably have a better chance of surviving that. All season tires are never, ever, 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 ever going to be a winter tire. They get hard at 40 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 30 out there this morning. 30, 30, going down to 10. Yeah, they're hard as hockey pucks. So they're riding on top of the snow. So Buddy flies past you. He loses control. He wiggle waggles. He clips your car. Guess what? Because of the no-fault insurance, you get to pay for all the damage on your car because of the other idiot driving like an idiot clipped you. Yeah, people are just kind of figuring this out. Oh, well, their insurance will pay for it. Nuh-uh. It's all on you, man. It's your dime. They fix theirs, you fix yours. And yes, your premiums go up because of their idiocy. Yeah. So you have to be smarter than them. Let them go by you. Let them blow by you this morning and go. If they're panicking because the road crews are out there and trying to jig and jag and get around you and get past the snowplows, let them do it. Power to you, that's what I say. Because the last thing I want is $3,000 bill to fix my vehicle so I can keep going. Or if the insurance writes it off, now you're deep in the hole. So before I digress, let's just keep moving. But it is a snowy day. There's all kinds of winter weather going to be thrown at you today out on the roadway. I'm glad I did everything I needed to do yesterday and got it done. It was a long day, 4 a.m. till 4:30 p.m., and I'm used to that. That's just the way it is. We can sleep when we're dead. Okay, so this morning, in just a few moments, we'll jump into Transmission Care Myths, Part 2, how to avoid a $7,000 bill. which is more realistic than the $5,000 bill. So I have requested some estimates, some estimates for you, so that we can talk about real numbers. Real numbers. When you neglect servicing your transmission because the sales guy says you don't need to, oh, that's lifetime. You got to stop listening to that stuff because those are lies from the pit of hell. What you have to say to yourself, whose car is it? Does it belong to Joe, the sales dude? No. He's going to get his commish and be on his merry way. He's going to sing, dance, any tune you ask him to get you into another piece of sheet metal rubber. Not to disrespect the salespeople. We have salespeople all over the world. And I've done outside sales for a long time. But these guys and gals that are selling cars need to stop feeding that crap, because I'm sure glad that cows don't fly. You know what I'm saying? You can't buy into that game. And I told you I have hundreds of tips and tricks to put money back in your wallet, saving on car repairs, keeping your car super long, giving it super longevity, which every time you turn the key, it's money in your pocket. No interest payments, no car loan for, 7 years now? Egads, man. That's a lot of interest. And then if you treat it like you stole it, by the time you finish paying that off in 7 years, you only got the steering wheel left. You know who I'm talking to. You know who you are. Yeah, you got to change your mindset. Then I can really help you. Then you can start, instead of trading time for money, the home to work, never, never plan. If you can live on less and work less, wouldn't that be great? Yeah, be amazing. And it's doable. You got to change your mindset. Car Connection brought to you by City Auto Sales and Leasing, providing low mileage, top quality vehicles at fair prices. They've earned the title of Greater Toronto Area's premier pre-owned auto store. Earl and Louise Grant, they're car gals and guys, and they've been in the business over 25 years. They have lots of resources to find you a top quality pre-owned vehicle. If they don't have it in stock, let them do the legwork for you and find it. You can also sign up for leasing there, as well as in-house financing. So it's all available to you under one roof. So you can buy with confidence and be treated with nothing less than honesty and integrity. Let Earl and Louise know that Motormouth sent you. They won't charge you more, but you will find a husband and wife team there that will love all over you. You will not want to buy a vehicle anywhere else because it's safe there. It's absolutely safe. The other thing is, they'll be like a mother and father to you. If you're going in way too deep on a car and you're going to be car broke, they're going to let you know that maybe you want to rethink what you're doing. That's the type of people they are. They're amazing, and we are proud to have them with us. So City Auto Sales and Leasing. If you got to drive 2 days or a week and 10 days to get there, it's worth it, because you can buy with confidence and be treated with honesty and integrity. Some of the programs coming up for you. What does that dash light really mean? And is premium gas worth it? Well, those are some of the things I'm going to be unpacking. And in February, we're going to kick off our 30-day fuel savings challenge, which will put minimum $100 back in your wallet if you really honestly do the program alongside me as your coach. I will coach you all the way, and it will happen. In fact, if you have a 2-car family, I can, through that 30-day fuel savings challenge, I can help you double that, maybe even triple it. Money back in your wallet. So there, when you sit down with a financial planner and they take a look at what's coming in and what's going out, that's usually the shock factor. Because most of you, self-included, if you're not tracking yourself and not collecting all your receipts and doing a monthly audit or a weekly audit to see how are you doing, what's coming in, so what are you trading time for money, for? What does that look like? And what's going out? And that's a good start. We'll talk more about that later. All right, remember everything we talk about on our YouTube channel and here on our podcast lives on our website. It's the biggest drawer in our toolbox at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. So let's jump into this morning's program. Transmission care myths, part 2, how to avoid a $7,000 transmission repair bill. And I got to tell you, Skippy and I, my videographer, we went deep into a U-Pullet recycling yard, wrecking yard out in St. Catharines back in the summer. I think it was July. Yeah, it was middle of July. Man, was it stinking hot out there. We went through 6 bottles of water between us and nothing left. We could not believe, and Skippy especially is going, we went looking for Dodge Grand Caravan parts. And there were 57 of them in there. So we had this long ticker tape, and a number of them, the transmissions were all torn apart. But it was amazing because the rest of the vans inside and out weren't rusted out. They weren't jalopies. You could actually literally pick one in one of the rows and get enough parts off of everything else to make yourself a really decent Dodge Grand Caravan. And Skippy's saying, do you see that black Caravan right there? It's gorgeous inside. Why is it here? I said, well, half the transmission's laying on the ground here, so somebody was plucking away at it to get some pieces parts. But the only thing with a U-Pullet wrecking yard, they don't run them up, so you don't know if the engine runs, you don't know if the transmission works. But I would say one of two things put those vehicles in the wrecking yard long before their time. The engine's blowed up or the transmission let go. And 99.9% of the time, one of those two things or both have expired, the motor and the transmission, and the cost to repair it is just astronomical. So guess what? It's just worth scrap price. That's about it. Yeah. So you get a few $100 for it, and away it goes off to the boneyard for salvage. So here's what I wanted to talk about this morning as a part 2, as a wrap-up, is you can't forget about your automatic transmission or manual transmission. They are serviceable components, and I don't care what anyone out there says. Who owns the car? That person who's saying you don't need to fix it and that's what tickles your ears? Or do you own it? Is it yours or is it theirs? Because if it's yours, it's your dime when it breaks. If it's theirs, who cares? It's their dime. That's their issue. But if you have the keys and it's your car, then it's your decision to decide how you're going to take care of it. It really is. It's yours and yours alone. Exactly. It's like ladies heading in for a hairdo. You get to decide what you want, not what the cutter, the stylist is wanting. Going, oh yeah, this is yours. This is your hairdo. That happened to me one time at my barber shop. I fell asleep in the chair. Never do that. I wake up, I look in the mirror, and I go, who's this fella? And I go, what did you do there? Oh, that's you. That's your hairstyle. I go, no, this is not my head. Oh, well, try it out and see how you like it. I go, no, you got to fix this. Well, it's kind of too short. You're going to have to let it grow out some. Yeah, so don't fall asleep in the chair. It's your choice. And I said to him, that's not your decision to make. It's my head, and I got to wear this thing, and that's not what I want. And then I have to pay for it. So just keep that in mind. If they're your keys in your hand and that vehicle is yours, it's called vehicle ownership. You own it. You've got to make the right decisions. Don't listen to what tickles your ears. Oh, you don't need to. That you don't have to ever take care of that. It's fine. I've heard all this. It's such a load of baloney. Period. That sets you on a downward spiral with your vehicle. So if you're wanting to keep it long life like I do, I don't get rid of my vehicles in 5 years. Sometimes I don't even get rid of it in 15. Because if it's still good, which it is, I drive an '07 Toyota FJ Cruiser. Especially on days like today, I'll take that out. But here's the deal. You can keep them as long as you want them if you're going to follow maintenance. That will keep you out of hot water. That will prevent you from having a $7,000 transmission repair bill. I don't go there, and I don't want to go there, because on transmissions, you're lucky if that's all it costs you is $7,000. So keep this in mind. Just because it goes into it, the engine starts and it goes into drive doesn't mean that nothing is wearing out in the transmission. You want to do everything you possibly can to keep the mechanicals up to date on your vehicle and prevent it from rotting out. Then guess what? You got a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. At that point, you're the winner because it's owned, you're not paying interest, and you've got your repair bills under control. But if you're the type of person, the only time you take it in is when the panic light comes on, the money light, and you haven't spent a single doggone dime on the thing in the last 3 to 5 years, guess what? There's going to be a lot to that light coming on. I can tell you that. We generally find a list of issues. So you're not driving for free. That's what I'm saying. Don't rock yourself, baby, into, I'm driving for free. My car is maintenance free. The transmission's maintenance free. The engine is maintenance free. That's when you get the panic bill and you go, well, honey, how are we going to pay for this? We got to put food on the table, keep the kids in shoes and whatnot and everything else, and the home fixed expenses. How are we going to pay for this? Well, how are you going to replace the car? Because I can tell you right now, most of those vehicles that Skippy and I in July of 2025, we shot the video. You can watch that video on our YouTube channel. It had to be the hottest day of the year out there. In fact, the employees, when we came out from the yard, said, pretty hot out there, huh? Yeah, we ran out of water. We had 6 bottles, and we've only been out there an hour and a half. They're gone. So we were in awe, going up and down the roads, looking at the vehicles and going, that one's fixable. Why is that one here? That's a beauty right there. I'd take that baby home and put it back on the road. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying to you. Don't let the transmission go down and then you can't afford to fix it. Because that's what's going to happen. If you neglect all the major components, they stack up and they corner you, and then it's over. She's singing, if you know what I'm saying, and it's loud. And that's what will put your vehicle in the wrecking yard long before it's due. I have never, ever, in all my years, and I've owned a lot of vehicles, they were all good to me. I took very good care of them, and they were all good to me. All different makes and models. Well, there is one. Yeah, I had this crazy idea about driving a Cadillac. Worst car I ever had in my entire life. Yeah, there's a big story behind that. We'll share it another day. But it was all driveline related. Thing was the biggest pile of hoopty that I ever had, but then I fixed it and I turned it into an Oldsmobile and everything was happy, self included. Anyhow, Vehicles are in the wrecking yard long before their time because the engine's done, transmission's done, or a combination of both. That's what will do it. So then now you're faced with financing an automobile when you may not necessarily have the money to do so. Because if you didn't take care of the last 5 vehicles you owned, what's going to change in the next vehicle you own? I'll tell you from experience, once the honeymoon's over, baby, and the first dent and scratch, it's done. You treat it exactly like the one that got push-pulled and dragged into the wrecking yard. So, transmissions have oil. It degrades from heating and cooling. Transmission oil can get as high as 1,200 degrees. Yeah, you can cook French fries in there. It is stinking hot. And we don't think about these things. When you get in a car, do you think about, is the engine okay? Is transmission all right? You should be able to say, yes, it is. It's been serviced. It's not due for another 50,000 K. So I don't care what any salesmen out there say or any dealership, 50,000 kilometers, service the transmission, period. You want to make the 600,000 kilometer club or the 400,000 kilometer club? I'll be at 400,000 this year with the 07 FJ, the 99 Honda Civic DX. I'm keeping it out of the winter this year because it is a sweet little ride, 2-door hatchback, air conditioning, 5-speed. Yeah, and it's clean. Clean. It's gonna see probably 360 this year in 2026. And people stop me all the time, especially kids. You want to sell that? Oh, no. You want to buy a what? No. It's all good. Yeah, you've got to service it. It's got oil. The oil does not last till you decide to get rid of it. Number 2, there's probably a filter in there or a screen. That needs to be replaced. Replaced or serviced. I don't believe in the blood transfusion transmission service, because if there's a filter or a screen in there, that service won't revitalize that filter or that screen. The pan needs to come off if it's doable, and to service the screen, put a new gasket on, have a look inside the pan, see if there's any what I call chunkies or indicators that there's something seriously starting to go wrong, and we can nip it in the butt. Just doing I call a gush and flush with a machine that, it basically does a transmission oil transfusion. Out goes the bad blood, in comes the good. No, we need to pull the pan if the pan's removable, and we need to have a looky-see, a show and tell to make sure that, there isn't too much band material in the bottom of the pan. And most of all, if there's a screen or a filter that's replaceable, I'm doing that. I will put a kit in there and replace it, and then make sure I put the oil that the transmission manufacturer of the vehicle calls for. In fact, specific is the 08 Nissan Rogue is out being safetied, and it's overdue for a transmission service. Everything I read on it is the transmission is a naughty, is a very bad donkey. So I have to stay on it. Otherwise, the transmission goes out on that thing, it's over. They're expensive. They're what they call a continuous velocity transmission, CVT. They're a bag of hammers. So now I have one. So I did my research. It's got 120K. It should have been having a transmission oil service with factory oil. It takes a factory specific grade and type of oil for that transmission. Should have been getting serviced every 50K. So I'll get it back on track, and then I'll probably do 2 services back to back. In fact, I know I will, to get that transmission in top door condition and keep it there and not abuse it by towing stuff, driving it like you stole it, overheating it, because you got to remember, automatic transmission oil is cooled by your engine's cooling system. If the engine's cooling system is lousy, then you're cooking your automatic transmission. We've talked about that before, and I bring it back up because that's what happens, folks. That's what happens. You neglect your engine's cooling system, you're neglecting your automatic transmission all at the same time. It's what I call the party pack. Yeah, everybody's included. If we're going to wreck the engine, we might as well wreck the transmission at the same time. Exactly. So, a proper transmission service. And you're not going to get that from the sales guy. You're not going to get that from the manufacturer. You got to do your homework to find out, just like I did. I went hunting and looking for what are all the pitfalls of a 2008 Nissan Rogue, because I've never owned one before. A whole list of stuff. I go, yeah. And I look down the list and I go, yeah, okay. Even where the rust starts. And I went and looked and I go, yeah, it's just starting there. Yeah, the rear dog leg. Why? There's a rubber molding there. That rubber molding holds moisture against the body panel there, and it rots off the rear dog leg around the rear doors. And that's an expensive repair. So I already got after that. It's just kind of starting. It's showing. So, and the big one was the transmission and coolant leaks. So what does that tell me? Those are areas that I need to pay slick attention to and stay on top of it. And guess what? We'll lick it. We will. We'll be well ahead of the curve. So find out what your vehicle's transmission should be serviced at. If you want a general rule of thumb and you want to keep yourself out of hot water and you want to make sure that you don't end up with a $7,000 transmission bill, use that figure. Every 50,000 K transmission service. And take it to a specialist. If your guy is not familiar with transmission service, then take it to someone who is. That's what they do, transmission servicing. And if you need a referral in the Niagara region, I got a couple of great guys that won't just say, oh, you need a transmission. Yeah, because those guys are out there. Trust me. They're out there, and they've been out there for a long time. So a transmission tech, you need one that's going to work for you, not against you, not sell you a transmission, pull the dipstick if it has one and goes, yep, you need a transmission. No, they're going to say, yeah, we can do a service. Everything's working properly. We'll just keep an eye on it and maintain it. Maintain it to the nine. So that is an average figure. What I will do personally, if it calls for 50, I will do that service at 40. I would rather do it sooner than stretch the service out too far. That's where it ends up costing. So same with timing belts. We're going to talk about that in a program as well. Better to change it early than it breaks and smashes the engine and it's over. Yeah, because that happens on a regular basis. So keep that in mind. Your cooling system's running hot, your transmission oil's running hot. Transmission oil's running hot, you're cooking your automatic transmission. If you think you're going to drive that thing and be part of the 400,000 kilometer club or 600,000 kilometer club and not service the transmission, probably not going to happen for you. Yeah, I'm just saying. Probably not going to make it there. No. So these are the things that if you take it to heart and you write it down and you follow it, you'll get there. You'll put money back in your pocket. Because the longer you can keep that vehicle that's paid for, it's money in the bank. I was just sitting with Larry Tetro yesterday for a quick meeting, a cup of Joe, down near Casablanca Boulevard. It's a great coffee shop there called Harbor Coffee. I give them a plug. Yeah, Harbor Coffee. Had a cup of Americano. Or Americano? Americano. It was excellent. Anyhow, Larry and I were talking about that. He says, what have you been talking about lately? And I told him, vehicle maintenance and how you can put money back in your wallet. He goes, did you tell him? I go, tell him what? Best car in the driveway is the one that's paid for? Yeah. I said, yes, I did. and he has 25 years experience as a certified financial planning professional, and he's also one of my personal planners. Tony and Larry are both my personal planners. They have a lot to share with you that can save you money. Make you money, make your money, make you money, get out of debt, stay out of debt, and move forward. So keep that all in mind, that you don't have to be a rocket scientist to own and operate an automobile. You just got to be a willing participant and student to do the necessary things to keep it going and take care of it and nurture it and treat it like it is the last vehicle on the planet and you own it. That's the mindset you have to have, that you have the last vehicle on the planet and it's yours. What would your mindset be in taking care of that? You'd be all over it. Yeah. Like a dog on a donut. You'd be all over it. So your vehicle's transmission deserves all the maintenance it can get, especially if it's an automatic. Now, quickly for those who drive a stick, and they're out there. Those vehicles, I mean, they're not as popular as they used to be. Everything's an automatic these days. But for all of you that are driving a stick, and I have a few vehicles that are manual transmissions, they get a service too. Because again, the oil, it gets hot and cold and hot and cold, and it picks up metal particles and filings as the transmission gears and bands and whatnots. Inside there's so many pieces in there, it would blow your mind. Absolutely. They wear down. The oil will not tell you that you have to change it. You have to tell it it's time for a change. The same thing applies. Use the general figure. 50,000 K, a dump and fill on your manual transmission. And they all take different fluids today. So you have to, vehicles now are fluid specific. So we, as technicians, we've got to know for sure what came out was correct and what goes back in is correct. So I'm going to leave it there. It's entirely upon yourself. We'll have our car connection maintenance schedules kits added to our merch store so you can get a kit. And you know what? No excuses. It's really 3 lines to learn how to use it, and it will keep you on track with your vehicle maintenance. And you know what that equals? Money back in your wallet. Follow the menu. When you get to the bottom, erase it off, start again at the top. That's it. I formulated it for working on fleet vehicles so that I did not miss anything when I was working on those vehicles, because it might make a difference between you getting the tender to fix them next time or not. You got to be thorough. You can't miss a single thing. So that's how I developed the car connection maintenance schedule kit. So till tomorrow, drive safe, my friends. And Car Connections brought to you by Rainbow Motors in Scarborough, Ontario, Canada. Sales and service you can trust always with Rita and Ramiz Shanuda. And from our certified financial planning professionals, Tony Miele, Larry Tetro, 50 years experience at IG Wealth Management. They can help you with an investment portfolio, debt, estate planning, wills and powers of attorney, setting up a mortgage, life insurance, critical illness insurance, and most of all, you get a complimentary hour and a coffee discovery meeting where you can get your questions answered and get on track. It's that simple. Just do it. There's no sales gimmicks, no pressure, no condemnation. We all make mistakes. Sit down with those who have the fruit on the tree and get the answers. Thank you to Niagara Block at 5000 Montrose Road, the Grimo family being a part of Car Connection, our Car Connection workshop, and all the platforms we're involved with. Building Canada since 1931. Building supplies, hardscape, landscaping materials to help you create that beautiful backyard space that you've always wanted. Get on their radar, connect with them, customer service that you won't find anywhere else, and we'll see you tomorrow morning for another Motormouth Morning Drive. Be careful out there. Drive safe. Slow down. Keep an eye on the other guy. Give the road crews a lot of space today. Arrive alive, okay? I don't want to hear of anyone crashing and having a nasty day. And happy, healthy motoring. Peace, patience, and kindness. Make it a great day. Bye for now.